If you're looking to climb with Delhi, but you're not really sure what to do on the water maps, this will be the perfect video for you. I recently peaked at around rank 46 playing Delhi only, so these water strategies definitely contributed to being able to reach this rank, so I thought I'd help all you Delhi lovers to improve to and climb yourself. I'm going to be covering my openings, general strategy on two styles of water maps, one being the river style maps and the other being pond style maps. Now, the pond style maps are more dense with fish usually, and these include the maps like Nagari and Ancient Spires. So I plan to hopefully improve your gameplay on these maps. If you do enjoy the video, please feel free to subscribe. I also stream on Twitch, so I'll leave a link in the description there. Now, let's get into it. Now, I'm going to first dive into the river style maps. Now, the main thing that we're going to be focusing on with these river style maps is we're going to split out focused on both water and capturing sacred sites. Whereas it comes to the ancient spires, Nagari, where there is a lot of water and a lot of fish to be had, we are going to kind of ignore the capturing of sacred sites in the earlier stages of the game, just because the power of the fish boom is kind of crazy in this game at the moment. So let's just dive right into it. I'll show you my openings for these maps and go from there. So we'll start with, let's go Mongolian Heights, shall we? Now, our objective with the Delhi in these games is to keep our opponent off water at all costs. Now, one thing that Delhi does have is fishing ships that can shoot. We need to use this to our best ability because we actually have terrible warships as the Delhi Sultanate in Age 2 and Age 3. So if you compare that not only to the OP French Hulk, but any other civilization outside of Abbasid, who is another Muslim country who receives the same warships, we are going to lose these fights. It's as simple as that. We don't have the maneuverability to go around to his side and distract him and kill his fishing ships while he tries to kill our fishing ships. We don't have that luxury in river maps. So our goal here with Delhi is to essentially keep our opponent off water. Now, in this opening, I'm going to show you what it looks like if the enemy is not going to be going water, or if you don't feel like there's a threat on water. So we're going to send all of our vills onto wood first. Once the lumber camp is built, we're going to send our first vill out straight away. So with our scout, we want to be leading and scouting where the fish are. So obviously in this, just to give it a cleaner look, I've kind of let the whole map be revealed. But you want to lead with your scout, walk down the river. We've spotted that there's two fish here. Okay, that's good enough. Let's put our dock down here. Now, obviously, if you can't see, then you'll find out that there's not that much fish nearby, but not end of the world. We're going to put our dock down here. So we want to build a house as well. As soon as we've put down the lumber camp, we want to take in forestry. Continue scouting with our scout here. And as soon as the dock's up, start producing fishing boats. Now once we have four vills on food, we want to start bringing new vills across to wood. Now, the reason we're kind of putting extra vills on wood right now is because with a river map, we don't want to be exclusively going all in on water. We also want to be able to start capturing sacred sites in the next stage. So once you have constant fishing boat, like there's a new fishing boat in production, we want to put down a mosque. Now, we're going to put it here so we're in range of the berries as well as the wood here. And once we have a total of 7 vills on wood, we want to start bringing all our new villages across to food. And as soon as this mosque is built, we want to take in Sanctity. So there we go, followed by efficient production, and then doesn't really matter what the other ones are. So now that we have roughly 9 vills on food, we want to build a mining camp. So we're going to send our new vills across to gold here. We're going to build a house as well. And then once we have excess wood, we've got a constant production of fishing boats. We want to build a mill so we can start getting our wheelbarrow tech in straight away. You take one of the wood chopping vills across if you want to. So now we're at a good level of wood income to continue boat production. So build a mining camp. We'll send 3 vills out onto that. We'll get the 4th one to come out there as well, because our food macro is nearly ready to age. You can see our wood's kept as low as possible here. Now, in this situation you want to be scouting, seeing if he's going a dock. In the next opening I will show you a different variation of this, so that we can deny any kind of potential water play that the opponent tries. And if we've scouted up the river here, we want to keep, say, a fishing boat. If there's fish around here, you want to keep a fishing boat up there, and you want to keep a fishing boat, say, around here. Now the reason is that Delhi is not good at warships in the 2nd and 3rd age, so we want to be scouting to see if he's potentially placing down a dock or is thinking about it. So you want to keep scouting around, making sure he's not doing anything like that. And then once we get to the next age, our objective is similar to water maps, is to protect sacred sites, make units. Now we've got a really good eco because we've got, say, 7 fishing boats. Once you get to about that 7 amount, it's not worth creating anymore. You don't want to over-invest, just in case because you want to be able to produce enough military to not only hold land, but if they do decide to try and get on water, you want to be able to hold your position. So you want to continue researching your free technologies as they are available from your economic buildings and anything else that is relevant. And then as soon as you start aging, you want to start considering how you need to change your macro. If you're going horsemen, put more of your villagers on food. If you're going for archers, put more on wood. Now, this should be based on what you've scouted. If you know your enemy is aged and they put down a certain building type, like a stable, you want to mass pikes, potentially a 2nd barracks for more pike production and the upgrade when you age. They're going archers, make horsemen, etc. Another thing you want to do is you want to start getting the sacred sites in age 2 as soon as that's available to you, and you may need military to accompany that depending on how much your opponent has massed. So I think we've kind of covered the opening for if your opponent is not going on water. Let's go straight into what you should be considering if you do see an enemy dock in the early stages of the game. I'm just going to fast forward here because it's the exact same opening, all vills onto wood and then new vills onto food, and sending a vill out to build a dock. Okay, so at this point we've scouted our enemy has a dock. Okay, we need to adjust accordingly. We're going to start putting new vills onto wood so we can get down our barracks as soon as possible. Like I mentioned in the past, they don't have great warships in age 2, so our objective is to get them off water. So now that we have 7 vills on wood, we should be getting a barracks down shortly. We want to put around 8 to 9 vills on wood. Preferably 9 because we do want to eventually get a mosque down as well and keep constant production of boats. Don't need new vills on food just because we're getting new boats out onto the water here. got to get this tech. Make sure you're doing that as soon as you age up. Okay, so you get the 150 wood here, where you want to put down a racks as soon as possible. Go. Build it with 2 villas here so we get it down quicker. Keep scouting, seeing what they're up to. You want to eventually go to their base and see if they've got a racks down themselves. If not, it's good news for us. Got to build a house. So start queuing pikes as soon as possible. Now this is where you need to make a call as well, whether you want to kind of, if it's worth bringing all your fishing ships down to their dock as well. If they are making pikes, you want to utilize your fishing ships. So you want to bring them down to where your pikes are going, or at least 1 or 2, so that you can shoot any pikes or villagers that are trying to build outposts. If you do scout a dock as well, I recommend going fishing right next to where their dock is. Just because if they do decide to bring a vill down to build an outpost, you can deny that with your fishing boat. So from now, you can start putting more vills onto gold. Build a mosque. Probably could have built a mosque a little bit earlier than I did. I was just too concentrated on commentary. And with these pikes, just start sieging down the dock that you have up there. And it's likely, if they haven't already built a racks, they're not going to be able to stop you. So now that you're kind of sieging down their racks, and if they don't have defenses for it, they're likely thinking, okay, I need to get to the next age so I can get back on water and kill all these fishing ships. And that's where the spreading of fishing boats comes in handy. So although it does decrease the efficiency of which you're gathering, you're going to get line of sights, and you're capitalizing on the main benefit of fishing boats being able to shoot. So if a vill comes back down to the water, you're going to be able to deny that. Now, the amount of optimal pikes is going to depend on how quickly he's aging. So you want to be scouting and seeing when he's aging up. So if he's aging quite soon, or if he started aging whilst you've just started sieging down his dock, you really want to be massing more pikes just to make sure you get the dock down in time before he ages. So I think we've got a pretty good amount of pikes here. We've got 6 pikes. We're going to get the dock down. He hasn't made defenses. If he is making pikes himself, obviously you probably want to make some more pikes just to hold your position. Keep building houses. Build another lumber camp there. Probably have a few too many on wood, so you could probably tune that down a little bit. And whatnot. So we got pikes, fishing boats. The fishing boats are protecting from any kind of vills or pikemen that are coming down. We're scouting to see when he's aging up, and we're adjusting accordingly. Then you want to age, and again we want to be using sanctity in the age 2. So that is the opening. From here you want to continue to have your fishing boat spread. You want to make sure you're using you're massing up units so that he's not able to kind of come down and get back on water. So now we are going to move on to the big boy water boom maps. This includes Agent Spies and Nagari. Now the reason I'm not talking specifically about Warring Island or Archipelago is because you never want to pick Delhi on these maps. Basically they suck on these maps, and it is going to be extremely difficult for you to win. I'm going to move on to an opening with Nagari. Now keep in mind the build order is exactly the same, the strategy is slightly different. Okay, Nagari, we are going to take it a little different approach. We are going to be going double dock, because there is plenty of fish for us to do a double dock water boom. And our goal is still to deny them from getting on water. So we're going to build a lumber camp again. We're gonna walk out with our vil. Whether you go to the top side or bottom side, it's up to you. It just so happens that the bottom side is closer on this one, and most of the time it will be. So you will just go top or bottom side, make a decision at the beginning, and walk up there straight away, leading with your scout once again. So new vils onto food. It's exactly the same opening here. We want to build a dock as soon as we get there. So we want to keep our scout around this area, looking for sheep at the same time. If we spot his scout, we want to be attacking his scout with our scout. And if he continues to commit to your villager, which is unlikely, but if he does, you can also attack with your villager and scout, and you'll win that fight. So build a house now. And we want to be going to deep fish as soon as possible. Even though the shore fish are closer, deep fish gather at a much faster rate. So it's more important to put that on the deep sea fish as soon as possible. Now, if he comes with a vil to this side, it's fine. Your fishing boats can shoot his fishing boats whilst you're gathering. So he'd be pretty crazy to do that. Once your vil is safe, or like there's no chance of him killing your vil, you want to pull your vil back. Now the vil is going to come around the other side and build another dock. So we've got 4 vils on food right now. Put our new vils onto wood. This is enough to keep constant villager production, which is all we want at this stage of the game. So we're coming back with our scout to drop off sheep, so we don't run out of sheep here. This vil is going to come back around and it's going to build another dock. Again, we want to keep them off water at all costs, which is why we're coming to the other side. If we didn't come to the other side to dock and contest this, then we would be in deep trouble. He could just come with any given warship in Age 2 and you'd be screwed. So lead with your scout once again. Take the aggro of any wolves that are in the way with your scout so that they don't attack your villager. It's important to have him high health in case the enemy attacks with his scout. And sometimes click on these fish. Keep constant boat production here. Okay, so once we come down this side with our scout, if we see that the enemy has placed a dock here, we want to place a barracks at home as soon as possible. So say we've scouted a dock coming down on his side. We've dropped down our racks to begin pike production as soon as possible. We keep bringing new vils onto wood because we need wood production for 2 docks, pikemen, houses, all of that good stuff. If we don't see a dock here from the opponent, then you can start putting new vils onto food once you're at the 9 villager count on wood. So we're going to go up to 9 vils, but in this case we're going to go slightly more because we need pike production and we're going to need more houses as well. So keep as many fishing boats coming from your docks as possible. We're going to bring this vil back so he's not any real threat. And we are creating pikes. Again, with your fishing boats, spread them out. If he's got a dock right here, put your fishing boats right here so your boats will be attacking him at all times. If you want it to be super aggressive, bring your fishing boats down here to start fishing so you can actually kill the fishing boats. You need 3 will slightly outdamage the healing of the dock, but if you want to kill the fishing boats, then you'll want 4. So you get 4 fishing here, you're killing his fishing boats that are happening here, you're bringing out pikes to kind of siege down his docks. Now the great thing is, if he has pikes himself, it's not an issue. We've got fishing boats to attack his pikes if they want to contest us. So we're going to burn down this. And once we've burnt that down, we can change our macro back. Or once we want to stop kind of the production of pikemen here, we can take vils off wood, go back down to the 9 to keep constant fishing production, and then start collecting some gold. If you've, say, overgathered some wood, that's fine. Drop down a mosque so you can get efficient production as soon as possible. Or if you prefer, you can get the sacred site tech as well. So we've kind of created, say, I should have been constantly creating here, for example, but you want, I don't know, maybe like 5 or 6 pikemen, because you don't want them aging up and creating a warship in time. If he's going all out, bringing vills down to like put outposts down and stuff, that's fine. Just keep creating pikes for a longer period of time. Now, get your vills onto wood, say 4 or 5, depending on where your food source is at that time. And with, for example, denied the water for now. Now, by the time he's age 2, it's likely he'll be age 2 before you, depending on how much he's investing into taking you down. That's okay. You just want to age with more vills on, and then as soon as you've aged, you want to be dropping more military productions to kind of prevent him from coming on water at all. Now, at this stage, if he's tried to dock middle, you've sieged it down, your resource income is way higher than his. So you want to take guys off gold as soon as you've aged, just because you don't need gold now, only for production of scholars. So keep 1 or 2 on, and then the rest should be on wood, and if you're making horsemen, then you can have some land vills on food as well. So we're aging up with 8 vills here. It's likely he's gone, okay, we need to shut down this water. We're gonna make knights, we're gonna make archers, whatever it is that they decide to make. That's fine. As long as you're fighting close to the water, you shouldn't have any issues with your fishing boats attacking. And if they've got if they're starting to mass archers, which can take down your fishing boats, you just mass horsemen. So as soon as you age, you want to be dropping down like 3 military buildings, and it's going to be depending on what units they're making. It's something that you should have scouted beforehand. As soon as you age, start creating scholars. I should have, as soon as this was built, if he's aging early, you can go efficient production. I tend to like efficient production better than sanctity on this map if they're coming with aggression to kind of push you off water. It's just going to allow you to produce at a much higher rate without investing a ridiculous amount into military buildings. As your wood source is going to be quite limited, right? You only have a certain amount of vills that can keep up with the food production. And then if you had efficient production, chuck the scholars into your buildings and just start massing. Mass whatever counter unit is relevant to them. It's likely they've aged up slightly before you, and you just want to be countering whatever it is. So horsemen, archers, and that's kind of it. Now, there is one exception that I've been playing around with a bit, and that's France. Now, France is probably the scariest when it comes to them getting out warships on your water. So if they're going all out on knights and archers or something like that, that can be hard to hold, and then they're trying to put down a dock. You could consider walling the edges of water. Now, if there's chokes like this, just wall up to the choke here with your pikes. And this is going to prevent them to put down any docks. It's going to delay them from any more pressure and getting stuff down. So then you can mass enough horsemen and pikemen to deal with knights or whatever they're bringing at you. Walling off here, in this example, you could wall off here as well. Yeah, it looks like that's already walled off naturally by the water. I mean, you can do the same for the top, depending on if they're putting pressure there as well. So that's kind of the general gist of the Nagari map. If they're going all in age 2 and really pushing to get that dock down, that's fine. You continue to mass in age 2 and just fight that. You'll have such a better econ. As you can see, we're getting 770 food per minute or more, just from 16 fishing boats. So it's crazy, the water eco once it gets going. And you can just hold your position here and you'll just generally win the game from here. If they're not going all in on age 2 pressure, you've scouted they're not massing like crazy, go straight up to age 3. Change your macro. Take vills off wood, put them on gold, and age up as soon as possible. And that's the kind of guide for Nagari. Hopefully this was helpful. I have had a lot of success on this map with using this approach, just because like you can get an insane eco compared to them. Even if they go in a little pond, they don't have deep sea fish, it's a finite source of resource. When you're on this middle pond, you can mass like 30 fishing boats, no worries, and just have an insane eco with this deep sea fish. The deep sea fish is going to keep replenishing, so it's not like it's going to run out super quick. I believe they're probably, if not the best, one of the top civs on this map, just due to the fishing boats being able to shoot, and you can actually just prevent your enemy from being on this middle pond, which is the most dense of food. When it comes to ancient spies, the only difference I kind of have between these builds is I won't actually put down a barracks and make military. I will just defend my ponds with fishing ships. They shouldn't be able to burn down any of your docks, and they shouldn't be able to put their own dock in your pond because you've got the fishing boats to shoot their villages as they come. So you just rush to age 2 and then adapt based on what they're doing. So you need enough military to hold, and then ideally you want to focus on getting up to castle to spam men at arms and also spam knights as well if that's suited to your comp, as well as potentially some spring ults. That is going to be your best approach on that map. And yeah, that's the only kind of difference. So you won't need as many vills on wood. You'll only need 9 on wood to keep the double dock production going, as well as potentially adding in a mosque. Hopefully this in-depth Delhi Water guide helped you. If you did find it interesting and useful, please like and subscribe to help the channel grow. I am live on Twitch most days as well, so you can check out the link in the description. And I will be posting more guides, not only for Delhi, but for other civs in the future. So if you are interested in checking those out, make sure you subscribe so you can keep up to date with those. Thanks guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.